Hi, guys. Welcome to the final episode or session of Global Money News Review in 2024. Yay! Merry Christmas. Hope you had a beautiful and amazing Christmas celebration. And I hope, this last week of the year is very confusing. Am I supposed to be serious? Am I supposed to be playing? But yeah, we continue, we're going to cover the news because it never really stops. And I first of all like to say thank you to everyone who has followed through all through the year. If you are listening, please just drop in the comment section your name, where you're reaching out to us from, where you're watching from. And if you found these sessions useful, thank you so much for staying with us all through the year. We started the first episode or first session in February this year, and we have not missed a beat. 1 week we have not missed in this year. So yes, this is the last Saturday of the year, and it's exciting. First thing is that the economy never sleeps. Second thing is that as you are doing your dirty December wherever you are in the world, things are happening. Plenty things are happening. So we go right straight into it. In on the global scene, one news that came out that was quite interesting is the merger between Honda and Nissan to be to become the third largest car manufacturing company in the world. Now, why am I highlighting this at this time? It's because, first of all, things are moving, things are changing. For us as investors, because I want to believe that if you are listening in on these sessions, you are an investor, either an experienced or a budding investor. So us as investors, right, we have to realize that deals are going on. And the fact is that these guys have decided that together they will be stronger. So we look out for it in the new year. We look out for like the closing of the deal and the like unfolding of the rebranding, the new logo, all those things, or the structure, because sometimes it might actually run separate. But it just sounds like one of those things where we should look out for and see, okay, what's going to be the impact of this on the manufactured car space, knowing that fossil fuel cars are not going anywhere anytime soon, right? So there's still a massive market there. And so I think I would like to say congratulations to everyone that is on this deal, even the investment bankers, because people have made money. People have made money. You have to understand that people have made money. Now, the second interesting news is the fact that UAE, some data came out that announced that made everyone know that UAE, United Arab Emirates, is a major investor in Africa, or the highest investor in Africa currently. Now, this is one of those things where you might be in Africa, and I've said that a lot on this channel. You might be in Africa and you might just be looking at all that is going wrong, but people are bringing money on the things that are going right or that have potentials to go right. So we are entering into 2025, right? People with big money have put money in some places that you may not have mind for. But what do you have mind for? What really can you do? What is your plan for 2025? So whilst you are in this week, one of the things I want to recommend is you actually sit down and say, okay, blank check, what would I like to do when it comes to investing? What kind of assets would I want to build in 2025? Where do I find these assets? If you do not know, the Money with Club is a major structure for individuals. Like what we do is that we find a deal, we find a way to structure, get the legal structure, get everything, the financing structure that works, and jump on it and give it time, right? So if you haven't already considered, please join the Money with Club. Link to join the Money with Club is in the description. And yes, we're coming up with some interesting things in the new year. And one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to have we're planning a free webinar in January or February-ish. More information will come out in the new year. But if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and follow us on our social media handles so you get a like the first hand information, like the tea on each of these programs. I think the first one is about where and how to invest. So if you are struggling with where and how to invest, then this is for you. Now I'm going to rush through the news because even in the club, we're sort of like down tools for the year, right? Because I would like to say some things about what you should be doing in the new year. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, the federal government, the Federal Ministry of Finance signed so there's something new coming up, right? Where there's like this free mortgage, or no, not free mortgage, cheap mortgage coming up by the Ministry of Finance. Yes, it's good. Now we've had conversations about it in the past. Even in the club, we got someone to come and like unpack the impacts, and how people could access it and stuff. But now they've actually like approved it, is signed, sealed, and delivered. Like, of course, will be implemented in 2025. But what I'll say first of all is that most times for these kind of things, it's one of two things. One side could be one of the first adopters, so they'll use it to shine, so it will work quickly. I'll wait and let people go through the teething issues, right? But somehow or the other, I think the idea is that if you are looking to own a property in Nigeria, and you are a resident of Nigeria right now, or a citizen, whichever one applies, then this is something that you should be considering for 2025. It could be your path to owning a property. So that's another thing that you should be thinking about. And then finally, what's even the last news? Because I'm not even using my regular tools, right? So UAE, Nigeria, I think we've done everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Like, it's really short because obviously we're in holiday mode. But the final thing I would like to say is just to encourage everyone. Um, One of the things that I realized, that a lot of people look at the noise so much, they do not actually like go into the detail and say where are the opportunities. Because in every form of chaos, there is an opportunity. If there's traffic, then there is room for someone to sell pure water. Do you understand? There's all that. Then like, you have to understand that in every challenge there is an opportunity, and to look at all the challenges you see around Africa, around your country, and find a way, like, sit down, think about it, bump heads together, and find a way to actually like position yourself, to create wealth by fixing that problem. It is something that we need to adopt. Now, another thing that is going to come up in January is that President Trump is going to be sworn in. There's going to be a lot of change around immigration laws globally. There's going to be things, in fact, things like, even in January, the UK government has said that any country, anybody from any country coming into their country is going to have to pay for some kind of travel thingy that is not necessarily a visa. You don't have to like go through any rigorous thing, but you shall have to pay for something, and it's valid for only 6 months, blah, 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 over a number of years period, things like that. So travel guides, travel rules, travel restrictions are getting tighter around the world. What am I saying? Especially if you are an African in Africa or an African diaspora, you need to start thinking about your home country. That's the only place where they cannot stop you. You understand? Except if you're a fugitive for any reason. But you understand what I mean, right? So we need to start thinking, like, more than ever before, more than ever before, we need to start thinking about Africa. Um, I'm a Nigerian. We know the issues, but we need to start working on it. That's on period, right? Now, in terms of assets and in terms of direction for 2025, there's some things that would always be. For example, the stock market will always be there. The stock market will always have its good and its bad. Your responsibility is to find the companies that are positioned so that the wind pushes them forward, not the ones that the wind will slow down and plug in. And once you are aligned, once you are aligned, you just see that your finances or your investment is actually rising. It's just there. Now, in Nigeria, we are currently in a high interest rate environment. The fact is that we cannot continue like this forever. We are going to drop those rates at some point in time. So if you are thinking of investing, I would say go long, right, on the federal government assets. Why? Because these yields are beautiful right now, and they are not sustainable. When I mean they're not sustainable, somehow or the other, we're going to drop these rates. And there's a very high chance that it will be dropped in 2025 because we can't continue this high interest rate environment for so long. So bearing that in mind, this might be the year for bonds for you if you've never considered it before in Nigeria. On the global scene, the Feds have said that they are going to slow down on cutting rates. What that means is that the dance is going to be slower, right? But it doesn't mean that there are no opportunities. There are some things that we need to look out for because the Trump presidency is different from what we see or what we have right now. All the tariff wars across borders and all the bans and stuff on Twitter, we need to be able to, like, the fact is that if he tries to do all the things that he has said, he'll get none done. So we have to look and see, okay, which one is he going to prioritize and push forward, right? And see, and let's see how that pans out, right? So bearing that in mind, and you understand that there will be some uncertainty around the global terrain, especially with news coming out of America. So just fasten your seatbelts. That's what I would say, because China is also not sleeping. The BRICS nations are also not sleeping. They will still come up with stuff as we go along. The forecast for Africa in terms of growth is still around 3-4%. But how that will pan out in actual numbers and growth and development for the people is dependent on Africans in Africa. Yeah, don't sleep. If there are assets and you're not mining them, like, yeah, just joking. Yeah. And then for people in countries like Canada, there has been a significant devaluation of the currency against the dollar in 2024, like significantly, right? Such that you might not be aware of it, but your value, the value of your wealth, like what you're saving in Canadian dollars, has dwindled a lot in this year, such that I do like the fact that a lot of the people that I know in Canada that invest in the stock market, they're actually investing in the US stock market. I would say big ups and continue with that, because this tariff war that they are trying to attempt to pick up between Trump and the current president and the current leadership in Canada, it's not going to go well for the currency. Just take it from me. So if you are thinking long, especially because we know the kind of issues that Canada can have economically, then you need to be thinking about investing in the stronger currency. That's on Canada. For the UK people, you guys are doing back and forth with your leadership and sense of direction. I just moving forward in any particular direction. I subscribe to some UK investment recommendation type tools, analysis, blah, blah, blah. They still point to the United States, let me not lie. They actually still do. So until things change significantly in the world order, even if you're in developed nations, right, I would say that you should actually have some kind of asset base in the United States. It's still the country of the world. Like, it's still the financial capital of the world. Like, hate it or live it, it still is, right? And it's going to be for a while before things change. Anyways, on a final note, it's very, very important for you to take time out to think about your personal finance, your investing, and the economy. That's what we do in the Money with Club. You're welcome to join us. We're coming up with some other products in 2025, I dare say. Things like Substack newsletter. You subscribe to that so you know what we're doing. We're going to have some courses that will be available. If you've reached out to me for a one-on-one and just didn't work out, that might be an option for you. There's a lot coming in 2025, and obviously and also if you are in leadership in a company, you're in HR and you're looking for sessions for your staff, personal finance sessions, financial wellness sessions, reach out to us. Link is in the description also. I just want to say a massive thank you for rolling with us in 2024. In 2025, it's gonna be a banger. Have a beautiful rest of 2024, and I wish you an amazing, beautiful, prosperous, growth-filled 2025. Bye.